Hey, I'm back again. And my name is Billy Merritt. And every single day, live at 11, Billy Merritt presents you with an expert, with someone interesting, with somebody you need to get some specialized knowledge from. Yesterday was a cool show. We had Grant Cardone's main man on there, Dave Robarbs. That was really cool. We've had some amazing guests. Tomorrow is my favorite day, Wednesday. Winning together with my wife, April. That's just super exciting. That's amazing. Today, I bring you one of my friends. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and just cut right to the chase. Bring Chad Morgan on. Chad Morgan is an entrepreneur. He's a sales expert. He is an inventor. And look at that guy. That's my guy right there. Holy cow. I promised an expert, and he is an expert at chair acrobatics. Chad, what's going on, my man?
What's happening, Billy? What's happening, man?
It looks as if you have some really cool sound equipment. You have a cool studio over there in Seattle, Washington. Is that correct?
It's correct. It's correct.
What type of equipment do you have there?
Well, nothing real too fancy here. I've got this Blue Yeti mic and I've got my cameras. Like, I love this stuff and I just eat it up. I wish I had more time for it, to be honest with you. Hopefully I will soon. But, you know, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't even have my headphones on right now. So
I have to have, because if I don't have my headphones on where I can hear myself talk, you wouldn't even be able to understand me by about 5 minutes in. I would be speaking such South Georgia and you'd be like, what did he just say?
Well, you know, it wasn't too long ago. I spent an ungodly amount of money on setting up a Wirecast. And then I went to another software and I was like setting it up to where I was going to do like a show where I could have like 6, 7, 8 people on at the same time. And it was, and then things just went a different direction. So you know how that goes, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you start in one direction and you end up somewhere else. So let me ask you a question. Are you a techie? Sounds as if you are.
Well, I mean, I kind of have to be, but you know, I struggle with certain things. It's crazy. Like we've obviously built a technical app and then at the same time, like I struggle with stupid things like doing a Facebook Live. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like my kids are brilliant and that sometimes like I have to help them boil water. I mean, they're so smart. And then like you turn the stove on and then you just wait and the bubbles pop up. And that's when you put your top ramen in, you know.
Hey, man,
I don't get it.
I understand what you're saying. I have smart kids who don't know how to change tires. So I understand what you're saying. But I tell you what, man, one of my favorite things about what I do, and by the way, now I'm not an expert at many things, but I am an expert at Facebook Live. I can help you with that anytime you need some, some help, some assistance with that. And I know you're just kidding saying that you don't know how to, but my favorite thing about what I do, Chad, is the relationships and the people that I meet across the country. And I think it's super cool that Douglas, Georgia, Broxton, Georgia is where our second office is. We're redoing our office in Douglas, and
I've been watching, man. It's so cool to see you grow like this. It's really awesome, man.
Thank you. It's the new office is going to be state of the art with all kind of technical stuff. Right now, we're operating in a makeshift office. It's 2,400 square foot where we're at right here. Plenty of room to do what we do. But the coolest thing about what we do is meeting people across the country. Now, if I was to go anywhere in the United States other than Hawaii or Alaska, I couldn't get any farther than Seattle, Washington. And so for you to be in Seattle and me to be in Broxton, Georgia, that's super cool to me that we share, some commonalities and we both serve the car business. We both have software and let's start by you telling me exactly what Quickpage is and how you solve problems. What does Quickpage do? There's some people going to be interested in that.
Yeah. Well, Quickpage is the quickest, most effective closing tool in automotive. And it's actually one of the fastest growing video follow-up solutions in the industry. And there's a problem out there, and that's getting attention. So Quickpage and using video and we're more than just video, but grabs attention and builds trust and rapport using video like no other medium can really do. So with Quickpage, we make it really, really easy to reach out with video and get all the tracking metrics that you'd want in a follow-up scenario to really impress your customer and follow up with them properly. And we make it really, really easy. So where we are growing really quickly in automotive, although we're growing outside of automotive and real estate and some crazy industries. We have magicians signing up to Quickpage, believe it or not, because a marketer that helps magician get gigs found us, and we have people doing training series on us. We get signups from all over the world right now, and it's really cool to see. But our primary focus is in automotive. The cool part of Quickpage is it's sort of like a turnkey Swiss Army knife, where if you're in sales and you do any sort of follow-up, I'm confident it's going to help you grow your business. So with Quickpage, it's pretty straightforward. In a nutshell, you can open up your Quickpage on desktop or mobile. You can record a video or multiple videos. You can use pre-recorded stuff we call evergreen content. Maybe that's testimonials. Maybe it's like a why buy for me, introduction to the service department, things like that. You can grab stuff from YouTube. You can put PDFs, docs. You can screen record. And now we've just introductions inventory. So you can grab a little piece of your inventory and you just make a little slider for your customer and you can send it out by video text. So your text actually includes a little video GIF inside the text. Really cool and pretty impressive and a little fairly rare right now. And you can also send by video email. It embeds in all the big CRMs, VIN solutions, e-leads, dealer sockets quite nicely. In fact, it's like 2 buttons and you've got a GIF in there that just lights up your CRMs. So the engagement has gone way up. We're seeing like 30% increase in sales in the dealerships. We're seeing more dealerships make it mandatory more than ever before. And it's blowing up right now. It's a unique tool. There's nothing else out there like it in the world at this moment. It includes a live chat on each page and makes the interaction like really easy with your customer.
That sounds super exciting, man. Now, did you say that automotive is or isn't your main?
It is.
It is.
It is. Yeah, it is. That's our main. That's our bread and butter. It's where we started, and I just I kind of never gave up on it. And it's actually, after being involved in a few other industries, kind of my favorite, to be honest with you. Like,
I'm going to be honest. You know why it's my favorite? Yesterday, I did a Monday morning money show. Do you know why the car business is my favorite business to serve?
Tell me why.
They have huge budgets, man. The average car dealer has $67,000 in a monthly budget. And so what I found when I'm dealing with other industries, even real estate, which is a multi-trillion dollar business, nationwide, they don't want to spend the money. So I don't focus on anything except automotive. I'm glad that you found a way to serve and help other people because they need it. Everyone is a salesperson, and sales looks different all over the place, but we share these commonalities. I mean, here you are in Seattle, and I'm in Georgia. We serve a lot of the same car dealers, and we're all about solving problems. So, I love the fact that you're able to solve and help people in other industries. And, maybe I need to figure out how to do that myself. But, with all the car dealers out there, I'm happy to stay in my lane.
Yeah, there's plenty of work out there. And I really truly enjoyed the journey. And I do love automotive. I do love it. It's nice. Before this, I was in a company. Well, it's still around. I think we got rid of our last client, but it basically funded Quickpage. It's called Seattle SEO Consultant. If you Google it, it's still there. We still hit the top of the search for some reason, but because it's got some dust on it. But I had lots of clients. Like I had clients from hot tubs to senior living to mesothelioma attorneys to, like, it just went on and on. I freaking hated it. I pulled all my hair out one strand at a time because I had to learn every single new industry. It was hellish, so I always was trying to figure out like how to get, like, I just want to have one focus. That's all I want is one, so I can really be the best at that one. And that's where sort of Quickpage started to evolve. And I'm like, okay, we've got this one thing. I'm going to be the very, very best at it. I'm going to know it inside and out. And then we got into automotive. That was sort of our first like jump in there. And it was like, all right, I'm going to be the best at this. I'm not going to give up until I am the very, very best with this one software in this one industry. And that's what we've done. And we continue to grow. I mean, we're people ask about competitors, and I don't really know about them, to be honest with you. Like, I know a little bit. I get retargeted by them, but I'm already 2 years ahead, and that's if I get 24 developers working 24 hours around the clock. I've already got my roadmap planned out. So I'm really excited about where we're going with this thing, and I love the auto industry.
I know you do, man. I've known you, and we've been friends for a long time. We've had several conversations on the phone, and I'm glad that I'm able to bring you to my audience. And we have quite a big audience. Sean Hayes has been on the show. He just reached out and said, let's put his comment up there. He said, "That's my man. Love me some Chad Morgan." So obviously, you know, one of my other friends, and it's cool how we're friends, with people all over the country. All right, so here's a 5-star for the audience right here. And when I say 5-star, Chad, that means something that everybody needs to really pay attention to. So, I'm sorry, I said Sean, but Chad, here's something that you've already done that my audience should have picked up on. I don't know if they did. I hope that my sales manager in here did pick up on. When he first came on, he said he had the most effective. Tell me again the first thing, your little intro about Quickpage. Yeah. We're going to put this down and help. We're going to help people who have products that want to learn how to promote their product and how to sell something right here. Tell me again what your product does.
We are the most effective closing tool in automotive.
Boom, stop.
The quickest, most effective closing tool in automotive.
Boom, right there. You got to make a big offer, guys. Now you got to make a big claim. Now I know that Chad is willing to do that because he's already said he's confident that it will help you. So you have to have a legitimate big offer that grabs attention. Now, when you say you have the quickest, most effective follow-up tool, that's big. Now, is it really, Chad? Are you blowing smoke?
I believe it with all of my heart.
Yep. That's what I love right there, man. When you know you have something, see and Chad and I've talked about this before. We have the most effective product in the car business. And, I'm not saying my product is just like other products aren't necessary, but when you're dealing with setting appointments, it's totally different type deal, right? You do follow up, we set appointments. So we have the most effective product. That's a big claim, and that's how we put it out there. If you're not willing, salespeople, if you're not willing to make a big claim and then back that claim up with a real product, then you probably need to find a different product to figure out another way. So it just thrills me when I see somebody who's having massive success and they're doing exactly what I've been saying, make a big claim, take massive action, back it up with tons of work. And I know you work, man. Tell me what an average work week looked like when you were first getting Quickpage started. I know you weren't sleeping that much, were you?
Well, yeah, I really do sleep okay. Probably sleep a little bit too long. Like, I'm not one of those guys that gets up at 5 a.m. Like, I want to be those guys, and I try. Even today, I tried. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up, but I just stay up too late. And I know I'm just broken in those areas, and I think I just need to accept it. But I'll tell you, when I first started, we were still working the other business, so I was spinning that plate, the Seattle SEO consultant plate, and I had all those clients. I had like 25 bosses, and I always hated that because I didn't have any control over Google, and we were doing search engine optimization and web design and pay-per-click and Facebook. We were doing all of those things, and I really didn't like it, but it just kept paying the bills, so I had to do it, And then we started working on this other project called Quickpage on the side, and it was just really a hobby that we kind of built it completely back asswards. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything we did was completely backwards of how you would want to build a product with an MVP and validate it and all that stuff. Like, forget it. We just started working on it because we really loved it. So we just kept building it and like, oh, that looks cool. Could we do this? Okay. And so it was more of like, I really looked forward to it. Like it gave me energy where the other company was like draining my energy. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Let's get to work on the fun stuff. And my developer at the time was really wanting to get into app development. So just like, it was energizing for him too. And it was just like, we found our love. And then when you find your love, like you just want to be around them all the time. You're just excited. You don't want to sleep. You talk on the phone all night. And so that's what we were doing. Like, man, so what else can we do? I'd wake up in the middle of the night. Hey, do you think we could do this? How about this? He would send me something at like 2 a.m. I'd wake up, and just back and forth in this little racquetball thing. And we still do that to this day. It just energizes me. I don't feel like I work hard at all, man. I feel like I'm having the time of my life. Like I'm loving this journey with everything. It excites me. So I don't really know if I've ever felt like, oh yeah, I can do this, like I'm trying to find the water, or out in the desert. I'm more energetic when I work on Quickpage. I know where it's going. I know it's going to be a household name. I don't care that if I take a step backwards, I have no doubt that it'll be 2 or 3 steps forward. None of that stuff matters to me. I'm excited about the journey. I know someday I'll look back and say, remember that journey, man, that was fun. And I just want to like take the moment and just sort of run with it and enjoy it while it's here.
I'm hearing you. I love it. I love it. So how old are you now, Chad?
48.
So when did you start on Quickpage though?
Well, let's see. It's probably 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. We started on it. Maybe I think 4 years ago. There was like some early versions of like just some cobbled together thing. And then we just scrapped it all and started completely fresh.
So before you found Quickpage, was the journey grinding? Did you, cause I know I felt like I picked up on you that the other stuff wasn't fun, but you did it out of necessity. So there was a big sacrifice for a long time until you boom, hit that up.
Well, yeah, to be honest, it wasn't all that long ago, broski. It was, I lost my biggest client with my other company about a year and a half ago. I mean, we've been growing organically, which is kind of funny. We're just now ready, like, to put the gas down. We've not really done any serious outreach. It's grown organically, to where it's at today, which is pretty cool. We do a little retargeting, but my biggest client, they paid me $20,000 a month for years. And then I saw the writing on the wall. They had new people coming in, things were changing. Like I just saw it coming. I'm like, we're out, get ready, buckle up. And it was great. It was the, the bridge was burned, and it was like, all right, now there is no safety for me here. It's got to go. It's got to grow now. It's got to pay the bills. It's got to pay everything. And it sucks up some cash each month. This thing is, it's a monster. I could probably scale it back and live pretty comfortably, but it's like just a hungry little hippo. Mm-hmm. We're pushing out maybe, 600, 700 pages. Like imagine like building 700 websites every single day, and it's starting to grow exponentially. So it's a hungry hippo that I have to pay the bills for, but it was one of the best things that ever happened, really.
Yeah. See, and I just I don't want to mislead the audience, because I've been telling people for a long time, it takes sacrifice, and, and I'm super excited, and it thrills me that you feel like you don't work in the Quickpage, but that okay. didn't come without a price.
All right. Let me tell you the sacrifice. Okay. The sacrifice has been like, I didn't pay a lot of bills for a long time. I've got the coolest story, and I've documented the whole thing. I've got eviction notices. I've had expired tabs on my vehicle for 9 months. I had where my card didn't go through. Like that was the first time in so many years where my card just didn't go through. Like I've had as far as sacrifices go, but I just always knew that, like. And I still to this day, I'm not there yet, but I will be. So for me, it's like, I already know the end. I already know that. So whatever happens between there and here is not that big a deal to me. Like if I get eviction notice, I'm going to take a picture of it because I know I'm going to put it in my scrapbook. It's all part of the journey. So it's sacrifices. Like, yeah, there is sacrifice, but when you know the outcome, when you know deep down, like you'd have to pull my spine out for me to not know where Quickpage is going. And because of that, like it's the sacrifices are just part of this story that I'm documenting that eventually I'll tell, because I document every day. Every day I've got a video of something going on in my life every day. So it's going to make a cool story. So yeah, there's definitely sacrifice.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point that out because I'm very careful when I talk to people because I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in the thoughts are things, and our thoughts become our words, and our words become our actions, and that we can create our reality. I totally believe that, but so many people talk about it in terms like you can just think your way into it without the hard work and sacrifice. And I'm, as far as there's a place for that podium, and they can do it that way, and they can teach it and preach it that way. You won't get that here because that's not my reality.
Yeah.
My reality is, yes, visualization, imagination, treat it as if it is already happening. Speak it in the present tense, but you're going to have to sacrifice to get it. That's my reality. So that's what I teach. And I don't see all of my mentors teach it the same way. So
I would agree with you. Absolutely. I think it's just, I totally agree with that 1000%. I mean, you're going to have to you've got to work towards it. Like, it's not going to just magically appear. The magic is in the believing, the magic's in the faith, that it's going to take you there. When the two steps come, are you going to give up? And I feel like if you find your love, that just is like a magnet that pulls you through. You know what I'm saying? I've thought about this a lot. Like, people you give up. Well, I mean, there's probably a point where you need to give up. I mean, looking back on things I've done in my life, maybe I could have given up a little bit sooner on things, but I'm glad I didn't. But I think if you really know, you just know, it's going to pull you along. You already know that's the faith part. So yeah, you're going to get an eviction letter, but man, I know that there's going to be money in that. And I know something's going to work out. I'm going to work towards it and do my part, but it's all going to work out. I already know that.
Let me see if I can uncover this. Where does that certainty come from? I hear the certainty. I believe you 100%. I'm on your side, but I want to know, where does that certainty come from?
I don't know. I really don't, to be honest with you. I don't really know, because some people have they're like, well, man, I bet you had you've had some doubts and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I've never once in my entire life, not even for 15 seconds, I've been discouraged. Trust me, but I've not once ever doubted the success of Quickpage. Not even once. I don't know why. I have no idea. I really couldn't tell you. I just don't know. I just feel like it's already in the future. It's already there. I don't know why. I believe in it that much. That's how deep my level of conviction goes to this, and it'll get there. I don't know how else to explain it.
Will you lay on the counselor's couch for a second and let me explain what my opinion is?
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so because you're 48 years old and you spent so much of your life sacrificing, but always with a positive attitude and solving problems, taking action, and then you found something that you believe in, the purpose of it. You believe in that vision that you've already seen down there of it being a household name, and you know that's a really solution that the world needs, that you just absolutely, it has so much purpose that you believe it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah. So, switching gears just a little bit, we mentioned that you're in Seattle, and it looks really kind of hazy behind you out that window out there. What's going on out there in the?
I'm trying to get my camera to I feel like everything's all blurry. It's really. Can you see? Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is smoke. And it's 30% better today than it was yesterday. I'm not kidding you. So what the deal is there's been just fires everywhere around here, and it's trapped in Seattle. We have the worst air quality of, I don't know what the numbers are, but the news report that we have the worst air quality of any spot in the world at this very moment.
And that's terrible, man, because it's such a beautiful place. I know that the water and the mountains, there's so much different I guess geography out there in a short, in a small area.
God, I love Seattle. I wanted to live here since I was a little kid. There's a mountain range that splits the state in half. So you got the dry side, which is the desert. It's the exact opposite: dry desert, sagebrush, conservative, religious, and then there's a mountain range, and it's another world. Rainforest. Liberal, more atheist kind of style city. rural farmers, city. Everything's exactly opposite by this little mountain range called the Cascades. And I grew up on the other side, and we came over here when I was about 8 years old. And I just, something about it, like someday I'm going to live here. And I would have like pictures of Seattle up and stuff like that. And I just always wanted to live right downtown Seattle. So I ended up through events living right in downtown Seattle. And what's cool about Seattle is I can be out to Lake Washington there. This is a cool spot right here. I got really lucky. There's a story behind having this place right here because it's very unique. I'm so lucky to have this place. There's Lake Washington. There's this, downtown Seattle. I can see Queen Anne. You can be up to hike and up in the mountains and to 100 different waterfalls, all within like an hour. You can go out to the beaches. You can go see whales. I mean, there's so many cool things to do around here. You just got to put up with some serious, like not big raindrops, just little ones, like just like a mister, at some of those bars in the hot places in the United States, just like that kind of style. Like for like 7-8 months out of the year.
So, but right now, a lot of the state is on fire. I know California, from what I understand, it's from Southern California all the way up there to where you're at. There's tons of fires right now. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really been paying attention to it. I guess I will when the trees out here start catching on fire. But yeah, as far as I know, there's the fires everywhere, and it's obvious because it's all stuck right here. We just need a good wind to come through.
Yeah, for sure.
To clear it up.
Let's take a look at some of those comments, Smith, see who we have out here paying attention. Of course, there's Jamie Lopez, Jeremy Newell. Good morning to you, sir. Looks like he's into fitness with that equipment in the background. Maybe he can do the pull-up challenge. So are you into fitness? Does that fit into your everyday lifestyle, fitness, nutrition, or do you just kind of?
Yeah, dude, I love it. I've been eating one meal a day for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always been into fitness. I made a deal. I'm like with myself, like I'm just going to cause I used to be in really excellent shape, like, but it's pretty much bodybuilder, shape. And I want to do that again. So yeah, luckily I've got like I've got a few things here. I still haven't unpacked this. I've got my Peloton. I've got this guy here. Those are the big Select Tech Bowflex ones, and then I've got my teeter. Have you ever used a teeter?
I have. It's been a long time, but I do appreciate the traction and the decompression.
Got to do it because then when you start getting really old, you start shrinking down. So this could help.
You do pull-ups.
I have a pull. I don't really have a good spot here, but I do have like a little pull-up bar that this is a small place. Yeah. So I'm in like downtown Seattle. Like this is only maybe like 900 square feet. It looks big because I've got all the windows and stuff here, but it's a very small place downtown. I do have one that you can put right against the bar, the door jamb. Mm-hmm. So I haven't really been paying attention to this. What do we got? What do we got going?
So with the pull-up challenge, that was just something yesterday. You and I are a great example of how to properly use Facebook and social media, because even though we both serve the same industry, I was interested in you, you were interested in me, we developed a relationship, and we've actually, the most, as I said earlier, the most powerful thing, the most valuable thing I can come up with social media is building a relationship. And I strongly believe I could go into any state. I know this. I could go into any state of the United States and I could find someone that I'm friends with on Facebook that would help me if need be. It was just funny that yesterday, one of my sales managers here, Felipe Tinajero, he's a young guy. He's 26. I'm 46 actually this week. So he's 20 years my junior. And he challenged me to a pull-up competition. And so right after the show, we ran to my house. I have a garage gym with the pull-up bar and everything. And so we just decided, okay, when we filmed it, by any means necessary, if you get your chin above the bar. So we started off doing strict, right? And after about 7 or 8, I had to really get into the kipping style to get my chin above the bar. And I was able to do 18. So then Felipe, again, 20 years younger, he got up there. And it was very, very close. I think on the 18th one, he didn't quite get his chin, so he was disappointed. Do you think he did it, Smith?
I think it was like a centimeter or two away. Like he would get his chin just underneath the bar and he'd fall back down and try again.
Yeah. So anyway, it was fun. It was really fun. And I think he just didn't want to outshine the master, as you know, it's he knows better than outshining the master. So he allowed me to win, is my belief. Anyways, this guy in Hawaii sees it and starts just critiquing us and telling us, you can't do it that way. You have to have your feet together and you have to. Yeah. And I think he was just, at first I thought he was just trolling. Right.
Right.
But I said, you know what? He got to me. So I attacked him back. And then about 5 or 6 or 10 of my friends and people here in the office just piled on the guy. So we used social media the wrong way yesterday. You know, I fell victim. I let him troll me and I let him get to me.
Yeah.
Do you see that a lot out there when, you know, do you see social media? I know you see it being used the right way. That's a part of what your business does, right? How do you deal with it? Do you struggle with it, or are you just one of those guys?
Oh, dude, I do, man. I do so much, especially recently. Like I really struggle with it. And I'm like, delete. Okay, next, you know? And so yeah. I do that. I do.
So you're like me, you're in something, you want to do it and something, you actually type it in. Sometimes you hit send.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely guilty of all that. I'm guilty of it, but I just don't see it. Like I'm starting to learn, like, what am I going to do? Change someone's mind?
Right.
You know, what does it matter? Everyone's like, you're not going to do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What is it? My job to change someone's mind that I don't really know that well? Like, you know, I'm just learning not to care about that. You know, I can only put good out there. And I think there's like this vacuum for people that are like positive right now. Don't you? Like just this sucking in the air. I can hear it. Like for just somebody, please put something out there that's positive.
You know what? That's a great point. And I think you're right. I have not thought about it like that, but now that you mentioned that, and I look at the people, because there's some people out there doing that. And I do appreciate that, Chad. I do appreciate that. So though I'm up for a fight, you know what I'm saying? I think that it's probably more counterproductive than to be productive, because they're never going to admit you won the fight.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, that's how I got in. That I made all my friends by getting in fights, like fist fights.
Yeah.
Nobody has fist fights anymore. I feel kind of bad for the kids. Like, none of them get into fist fights, but that was a deal when I was a kid. Well, you're not that much younger than me, only a couple of years. You probably remember that, like meet at after school and like, we're going to fight it out. Like the good old days, man. Yeah.
And they were the good old days, because, you know, you either got beat up or you beat somebody up. There was never a question. It wasn't up for debate. I didn't leave the fight because I've been beat up before. I never left a fight after being beat up where I said, you know what? I got him. But on here, when we're on social media, you can fight and tempers flare and both people think they won.
It's really true. Right. And I don't know. I feel like people are just weak anymore, but that's probably what our grandfathers said too.
Yeah.
You guys are weak. Like every generation probably says the same thing. Maybe we are getting weaker. I don't know. But I just remember the days where, I mean, that's seriously how I made my friends. It was the wrong way to do it. I mean, I would get beat up or they would get beat up, but either way, I didn't like the feeling afterwards. No matter what, like I never liked the idea of having like enemies out there trying to prove myself right. And that's just kind of my personality anyway. Yeah. But yeah, it's just funny how things are like that. But social media is definitely interesting. People can just be whoever they want. And then when you meet them in public, and if you meet them, they can be completely different.
Yep.
And I've seen that at different conventions, whether it be NADA or some of these other conferences. And like, you are a completely different person. Like, you know, I thought you were so confident, but yet you're this just tiny little person that, you know, is afraid of, you know, like everything. And it just blows my mind how different you can be when you're behind like your keyboard versus in person.
Absolutely. And you know what? Full disclosure, I'm qualified to talk about this because I've been guilty of being ugly on Facebook, and I did it with a purpose. Don't get me wrong. I believe in this money follows attention. So I try to get as much attention as I can. And in the past, I used to take advantage of every opportunity to make sure that they know who I was. If it mean getting into a disagreement, especially about sales and process and things like that, I've been into some Facebook spats for sure. And then I would see that person at a conference like, hey man, how you doing?
It gets weird, right? Awkward.
Yeah.
No,
but there's some good guys out there that do what we do, man. And that, so here's what I'm going to do, Chad. I'm going to challenge you, not to the pull-up challenge, but I'm going to challenge you to be my accountability partner, and I'll do the same for you. If you know what I mean? I want to encourage you. I want you to encourage me, and maybe let's challenge all the people watching that's going to watch this to let's be positive, man. If there's a vacuum, Chad said there's a vacuum. I believe you, man. So let's be positive, because Facebook, my post this morning said it can be used for wonderful things, to keep us united, to build relationships, to stay in touch with people right now that we can't go see in person, grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, things like that. It can be such a beacon for light, but it can also be used as a tool of destruction. And like any powerful tool, it can help or hurt you. So I want to let you and me be careful and make sure that we're using this thing as the best way possible, because I do believe this now, Chad. This is me on my soapbox being idealistic. We can make a difference in the world. We can absolutely do it with our friends right here on Facebook. And I feel like that's what this show's all about. So will you join me in the accountability challenge to keep this thing positive? My man, right there. Hey, speaking of positive people, let's go back to the comments real quick, Smith. Sarah Stalker, let's see what her first comment was. Well, she's right there. She said, that is exactly right. I feel the same about posts. I try to keep it positive. She really does. Okay, so Sarah Stalker's out there in Colorado. She's probably closer to you. I'll have to get out my geography map here. She's probably closer to you than she is me. She's a couple thousand miles away, I think. She runs my ads department. Super smart person. She does an amazing job. Now, Chad, is one of those people who does get up early and stay up really late working. So she's a workaholic for sure. Thank goodness. She does keep it positive. She helps me keep it dialed in. Do you have anybody around you?
Yeah, of course. Michelle is the best for me. Like she's my filter for sure, and she helps. What's that? That's
your girl?
Yeah, that's my girl.
Okay.
She's such a nice balance for me, because I'm ready, fire, aim a lot in everything in life. Like, let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's run, let's go. Or even when I'm saying, like, I speak right from my heart, and I don't hold back, and I'll tell you right up straight, and you don't have to worry about where I stand with things. But so she's just really good for me to help me kind of rethink things. She's stopped me a few times, like, hey, why don't you just stop, settle down, think about this, think about it from this perspective. I'm like, oh, I instantly get mad, because I just want to be right. And then I'm like, nah, you're probably right. I probably should rethink that.
Yeah. So that's wonderful that you have that counterbalance there, but I do want to give you props for this. I'm going to hopefully enlighten some people on an attribute that is a absolutely wonderful thing to have. And that's the ability to make a quick decision, not necessarily a rash decision, but people who decide quickly, they are in the fight first. They are there first. They're going to be, just like you said, people are trying to catch up to you, but you're already two years in advance, while other people are thinking about it, and they're thinking about what Chad did, or they're thinking about what this successful person did, and maybe they're copying them. They may have an idea that pops up that's a great idea, but if they're not willing to take advantage of that and to act immediately, they're going to get left behind by the people that make the quick decisions.
Yeah, I'm very, very positive. Like everything is going to turn out gold. Like that's the way I'm wired. And I guess we're grinding some coffee.
That's cool.
I just want to go. Like, let's go. And so I need other people around me that are opposite of that to like help me at least like rethink things, or slow me down just a touch. Like they put the brakes on, maybe just throttle the brakes on a little bit, like tap them every now and again, just so I can be smart. Cause I do want to just like, let's go. We already got, let's go. What are we waiting for? Come on.
Chad, I pick up on your positivity and your optimism, and you know, most of my mentors are the same way. I don't believe there's much value in being anything but an optimist, but who inspires you? Where do you go to get your inspiration? Because that has a lot to do, I think, with our success and who we are is our mentors. Where do you go to get your?
Yeah, you know, I've got some people in the startup community that are just really solid. My advisor, I don't like to use the word lucky, but I'm going to lucky when I found him, and right here in Seattle. And he's just, he's been such a great person to me. He runs a startup community called Startup Haven. He's got a new accelerator called Groundwork, and he's just rooted in the startup community. And he's just, a mentor all the way around, the kind of person you think you're doing it right. My favorite mentors are the ones that shoot straight. Like my favorite CrossFit mentors or coaches are the ones that a lot of people don't like. And they just call you out, you know, might call you a name every now and again, you know, just to motivate you. You know, they have a good heart. They have a good intent, you know, they want the best for you, and they're going to tell you like straight up, so you don't waste your time. And he was like that from the get-go. And the very first time I met him, he's always been someone where he would tell me something like, I thought I was doing it right. And then he told me, and I realized, okay, I'm still far from doing it right. And I always leave a conversation with him learning something. So I appreciate him probably. So his name's Bob Crimmins. But I've got people like that. I listen to a lot of YouTube. I'm a YouTube addict, so I listen to a lot of spiritual stuff. Cool. And really sort of on a journey there as well, kind of where I'm going in my life spiritually. So I've went through a few different journeys, evolutions of myself there, and so I really enjoy that. That feels like the same path almost. Like there's Quickpage and then my spiritual journey, and everything is kind of just growing at the same time quite nicely.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful, man. It really is, and I mean, I'm honored that you would be candid and, you know, share those things with us. You mentioned luck. Now, I want to talk about luck. There's absolutely a real thing called luck. And I don't think that, you know, you said you hate to mention luck, because I think I'll say, I don't know what you thought, but what I think about luck, I like to take responsibility for everything, good and bad, that happens to me. But, you know, some things are just lucky, but having that positive attitude and taking responsibility for everything, even when it goes wrong, when it's not your fault, but taking responsibility for that just makes luck so much better when it comes around, man. Because there's no doubt I've had some lucky breaks, but I've also been beaten down a bunch of times too. I moved from failure to failure with enthusiasm, so that when I got lucky, man, it looked like I was really lucky. I was just, you know, ready for it, you know? Well,
it's really cool to see what you're doing, bro. Like I love it. I every time I see one of your things, you expanding more, I'm like, love. I really enjoy seeing you like evolve like this, and you're just embracing it. And, you know, it's just cool to see, man. You got a plane and a freaking pilot, and you're just expanding and growing. I mean, you're doing things right. So every time I've spoke with you, I've really enjoyed the conversation. Like, you're my kind of people.
I feel the same way. So let me tell you a little story that's really, really cool. So, you know, 3 years ago, there was no such thing as DigiNinja. And 2.5 years ago, there was one person that was the DigiNinja, and that was me, right? Mm-hmm. And now we have 48 people. We have 48 to 50. It changes. Sometimes people come, sometimes people go. But now we have 48 to 50 people. I have a multitude of sales managers. Smith, do you know how many events we have going this week?
I can look it up. Give me just a moment.
Roughly, 46. Dory from the background. 46 events, man. And, you know, what I've tried to do, and I've missed the mark many times, was just keep trying to add to people, like my employees, you know, trying to add to value to them and trying to get them inspired. That's what this show's all about, man, is so that they can see other people, because I have so much going on inside my brain, and I'm not always able to express it the way that these 48 people are going to hear it differently when they hear it from Chad, when they hear it from Sean Hayes, when they hear it from all the different guests we've had, Robarb's yesterday, Dave Robarb's. It's just somebody's going to say something differently. So I just, to go, we have yet to have a year over year decline in revenue. We've yet to have 2 declining months in a row in revenue.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing journey, but well,
you're loving it. You love it.
I do. Yeah.
Isn't that the difference? You love it. If you were doing it just for the money,
mm-hmm.
I'm sure the money's good. You got a freaking plane. You're doing awesome, But if you did it just for the money, you would kind of burn out, I bet. But you love it.
Doubt.
You love it, and that's the difference. I feel like that's the difference. Like I fought with that for a while. Like when I was in a multi-level marketing business a long time ago, I was actually a Ruby in Amway. I don't know if you know anything about that. But,
I do. Yeah.
And anyway, they'd always kind of make fun of that. Well, you should never do what you love. Do what works. Do what. And I so for a long time I had to fight that sort of thing. But I actually go really deep in that. I believe if you love it, like the money's going to follow you. And even so, what would kind of money would you pay to do something you love to do every day rather than going to work for the dollar? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that worth to you to do something you just absolutely love? Just go do what you really, really love, and then you'll never work. What do they say? You never work a day again in your life.
That's correct, and that's very. There's a difference of opinion out there. There's a lot of different gurus, if you will, that have those different opinions. And I think what you're saying right now is more along the lines of what Dr. Wayne Dyer said. He was all about following your passion and things like that. And that's Smith and I understand. We talk about woo all the time. Dr. Wayne Dyer he would get a little woo, but I've never made a sacrifice that where it wasn't calculated. Like I worked in the car business. I worked for 10 straight years, 6 days a week without a Sunday, without a Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I always did it with a purpose. And I had, my children at the time, I'd say, hey, I might miss some ball games, but here's why. And I would explain it. But now I don't have to miss any ball games, Chad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And,
yeah. No, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think but you were working towards that, like if you were stuck there for you were working for that love, you know what I'm saying?
That's correct. Absolutely. You get it.
Yeah, I get it. And I know you could spin that a few different ways, but so I can see kind of both sides of that.
So, you're into health, wellness, spirituality, you're a well-rounded guy. Where does alcohol fit into your daily routine? Are you a user?
I try to get drunk every night. Right before bed. I don't know. I don't really drink too much. The
reason I bring that up is I've recently made a commitment to wipe it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never really been a big drinker, maybe like in, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to like when I do go out, like I love like getting there, I don't ever get like slobbery drunk, but I'm going to have some fun, laugh hard. So, but it's just pretty rare. So when it does, I don't ever feel guilty about it.
Oh, no. There's no guilt involved whatsoever. Not as far as I'm concerned anyway, but here the act of pouring a large amount of alcohol into your body on a regular basis is not good for you.
I'd imagine. Yeah.
That's pretty common sense, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd imagine that's not good for you. And I've done that. I mean, I've definitely done that before. Last time I got really just blitzed, was actually on a trip somewhere. I think I was going to see a dealer, and they kept pouring me like the big freaking wine mugs, like big ones.
Yeah.
And I was talking to everybody around me, and they kept filling it up, and maybe I was saying yes too. Maybe I was like, yeah, another, I don't remember, but I was like probably 4 of those big freaking giant wine glasses in, and I'd had like, I'm going to save you some of the details, but, and I'd had some, mushroom appetizers, these little stuffed mushrooms, delicious. Well, I ended up seeing those again, like multiple times, like all night. And the next day I had to fly out in the morning, and I told Michelle, I was like, I'm not going to make the flight. Like that's how bad I was like hungover. I'm like, never again. I said, did one of those never again prayers, you know, never again. So it's never been, I don't know, maybe as the older I get, like I can't handle it as much anymore.
I think that has a lot to do with it. When it didn't affect you one way or the other, then yeah, it wasn't a big deal. But as you get older, it gets a little harder. Well, man, as you know, at 12 noon, Grant has a show that's coming up, and he's one of my mentors, and we try to make sure we make room and get everybody over there watching that thing. Let me say again, Chad, thank you so much, because it's early out there, for getting on here with me. Guys, if you don't know Chad Morgan, now you do. Smith, make sure you share his pages in the comments and in the links. Send Chad a friend request. If he doesn't have 5,000 friends, he will accept it. If he does have 5,000 friends, just follow the guy. We need more positive people, more creative people, more people willing to be honest and transparent. I mean, he's one of the least pretentious guys I've had on the show. You know what I'm saying? We've had some great guys on here. I appreciate what you're doing out there, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me. And listen, let me know how I can help you in any way. I'm here to help you, and thank you for your friendship, my brother.
Well, hey, listen, for you, by the way, your team is awesome. Like they took the time and did a really cool intro. That was really pretty sweet. Like I wasn't expecting that. And they pulled things from the website and they did the nice write-up. And so good for those guys. And you're a great interviewer too, by the way. You did a great job. So, hey, I appreciate you guys. I know we're all going to stay in touch. We're on this journey together. So same for you. Like if you ever need any help on any side or any technical or anything like that, like I'm here for you.
That's right. Sarah, did you hear that? Sarah Stalker,
Sarah?
She is in the middle of a huge software development program, and it wouldn't hurt to get Chad to take a peek at that thing with us.
Well, look, man, we if it's one thing that I'm bad at a lot of things, but I'm really good when it comes to user interface and the technology piece to solve it. Yeah. So if Sarah, if you need my help, just reach out to me. I'd love to take a look at whatever you're doing and help you guys out.
That was worth the whole interview right there. Thank you, man. We'll see you next time, brother.
Awesome. See ya.
All right, guys, there it was. Another show in the books. Chad Morgan from Seattle, Washington. And let me tell you guys, I totally mean it. And Jeremy's keeping me. I'll start wearing a suit, Jeremy. I'm sorry. But I totally mean it when I say that relationships are so important. I can go to all 50 states. Now, I could have went to Hawaii until the guy from Hawaii yesterday, he wanted to beat me up. Remember the guy on the pull-up challenge? But anyway, I'll have to find a new friend in Hawaii. But I could go to any state in the union, and I could find somebody that would help me. They would feed me. They would bring me in, and they would take care of me, and they would get me back to Georgia if I was stranded. That's powerful, but it's the truth. Let's build as many friendships as we can. For those of you that don't have a lot of friends, you need to change that, man. The best thing you can do is be friendly to everybody. I'm pretty sure that they say the man who's the man who's very friendly has a lot of friends. So if you don't have a lot of friends, take a look. You know, I don't have enough friends. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. So be friendly. Let's help each other. Let's hold each other accountable. Thank you so much for joining me. My ultimate accountability partner will be on here tomorrow, live at 11 with April Merritt. See you guys tomorrow.